Here in the UK, you might think that we live in a democracy because, after all, we have elections and we get to vote. But that's only one side of the story. In fact, over there in the Houses of Parliament, the majority of politicians have not actually been elected. So in this video, I'm going to investigate the House of Lords. Does it still have a place in the 21st century? Or is it just a club for posh old men and rich elites? So what's going on? When people talk about the UK's Houses of Parliament, they're normally talking about the House of Commons. That's where the Prime Minister goes every week to answer questions from other political parties. Order! But Parliament actually has two chambers. The other one is the House of Lords, and that's where the Earl of Selborne is. Members of the House of Lords are often known as peers, and there's almost 800 of them in total. Now you can spot one of these peers a mile off, because they go by these ancient titles like Earl, Baroness, Duke and Viscount. And out of all 800 of them, none of them have been elected by us, the public. There are three main ways you can become a peer in the House of Lords. The most common way is to be appointed as a life peer. Another way to get into the House of Lords is to become a bishop. There are 26 seats reserved especially for the Church of England. And finally, you can get a seat in Parliament just by, well, inheriting it from your parents. Over the years, there have been calls for the House of Lords to be reformed. But is being undemocratic really so bad? And if so, what can be done about it? To find out, we need to dig a little deeper.
If you are writing the laws of the country that you want the citizens to live under, then the citizens should have a say in who you are. I think the hereditary peers have literally had a born-to-rule attitude towards it all. They can only get this job because of the family they were born into, and that's not on any particular thing they've done. It's based on what their forefathers did, which, you know, that's just not the way the world works anymore. So I think it's a real hangover from a different age.
So, ever since 2002, there have been elections for the hereditary peers. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like great news. At last, the House of Lords is finally democratic, right? Wrong. These elections have a little catch. You can only be a candidate if you're part of the elite aristocracy. Clearly, this system is kind of undemocratic. So can we really call the UK a democracy?